Yo, what is up, Phantomxxu, and welcome to our review and download tutorial for Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash the noti bell down below so you hit up for more of our review videos and for my hardcore Nuzlocke content. Now, today we'll be giving the pros and cons for Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL, what it felt like doing it as a hardcore Nuzlocker. I'm going to give you a full download in case you want to play the game yourself, and I'll link the docs down in the description down below so you can use them for your runs if you want to. Now, for a spoiler warning, in the review portion of this video, I'm going to be using about an hour or two of footage for those clips. If that's not okay with you, you can just use the description chapters down below to skip straight to the download portion of this video. And with that, let's get going with our download and review of Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. We're starting off with the pros, and honestly, there's a ton to unpack here. I love how early on this game gives us access to a huge variety of nostalgic and well-known Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters. The creators added a ton of custom moves to discover that anime fans would recognize, from signature attacks to even iconic old-school field cards. Right away, what set Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL apart from other themed ROM hacks is how incredibly well done the features are. You can choose between 4 difficulty options, whether you want hard level caps, there's randomizer settings, if you want EVs in the game or IVs max. They have an egg lock mode, a sandbox mode, and they even provide infinite rare candies so you don't need to hack them in yourself. The world at first looks like you're just going to be playing through base Pokemon Fire Red, but where this game really spiced up your journey is with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Thematic special events. An example is you get to play through all of Duel's Kingdom, which is so sick, so fun. Also, another example are the rare hunters that keep banishing people to the Shadow Realm, and they even have their own evil team base. A very massive pro for me personally after playing Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL is it's actually rekindled my passion for playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself. A little backstory on me is from middle school until about early college, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Off and on with my friends or at local card shop tournaments, but I've not played much since then. But because this game is so fun, so well done, I've got back into modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I downloaded Master Duel, researched modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Strategy. I've grinded my way all the way to Diamond League, and lately I've been researching how to counter specific meta matchups so I can get my way towards Masters. I'm just so thankful for Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL for relighting my flame for this game that I used to love so much. So how does this feel from a hardcore Nuzlocker mechanical point of view? Well, I would say that this game is very fun and difficult enough that you will feel rewarded by playing it as a blind Nuzlocke. However, once you start learning the monsters' types, fire, flying, ground, whatnot, by battling them, by catching them, then this game does get a good bit easier. And because of that, if you're using docs, or if this is your second or further playthrough and you want a challenge, then I'd suggest playing this on a higher difficulty. But because there's 4 difficulty options, and you can play through blind the first time, use docs the second time on a much higher difficulty like brutal, this game has a ton of replayability. All right, you guys, I did really love this game, but that does not mean it's without any cons, and I came up with 3 improvements that I think really would have helped my experience with this game. My first con is that the gym trainers do not always line up with their respective gym leaders' themes. 2 examples I can think of: in Weevil's gym, the trainers have seemingly random mon, like they were placeholders before he was even decided to be the gym leader, and then they were unedited after he was made the gym leader. Another example I can think of is when you enter the 8th gym, you talk to the first guy, he says it's ground type, which is likely just unedited from Giovanni's gym, and then you fight the trainers, they're fighting type, and you're like, yo, I got this, they're actually going to be a fighting type gym leader, and then you show up to the gym leader, Bakura, and he's ghost and dark type. This could be easily fixed by just editing the teams for the gym trainers before the gym leaders and editing the 8th gym leader's text. My second con is with the early game level up move sets. Now, this is only relevant from like 1 to 14, maybe up to 22, but some monsters ended up with something crazy like X's or Fluted D, and other monsters might have just Leech Life or Ember at that point. And I felt like as a Nuzlocker, it didn't feel great to have my early game decided so much by my encounters level up moves. So I think that could be easily fixed by making everything have something crazy, but more realistically, moving those crazy moves like X's or up to the 23 or higher level up moveset range. My third and final con is just something I was hoping to see in the game and it wasn't in there, unfortunately, and that's that the types be renamed. For example, Steel could be Machine, Psychic could be Spellcaster, maybe Fiend instead of Dark, you could have Winged Beast instead of Flying. There's all sorts of these, like Water could be Fish type. I think it would be really immersive to just change the name, so maybe we'll see that in a future update, but that was something I was really hoping to see and unfortunately isn't in the game. Welcome to the download tutorial portion of this video. You're going to need 4 things in order to play Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. Number 1 is a Pokemon Fire Red base ROM hack. Number 2 is the patch that is applied to the Fire Red ROM hack to turn it into PokeDUEL. Number 3 is the patcher. The patcher applies the patch to the base game to change it. And then number 4 is the emulator in which you're going to play the game on. Now, in the description chapters down below, I'm going to leave you links to download step 2, which is the patch, step 3, which is the patcher, and step 4, which is the emulator. You're going to have to find step 1 on your own by Googling the words to my left right here. And the reason why I'm not going to leave you a link to that is because it's illegal to do so. You won't find this in any YouTube videos, so you're going to have to start on step 1 on your own, and I'm going to lead you through with this tutorial step 2 onwards. So let's get going with step 2. Okay, now that I've downloaded the ROM for Pokemon Fire Red, I have clicked on the links down in the description down below to all 3 links, so we're going to download all 3 of them. So the first one has led me to the patch. So right here, the current version for Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL is 4.0.6. But if we go down here, it says download Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL v 4.0.6 patch. We click on that, and then we don't pay this money. You don't need to do that. You just wait for this to load, and then you press download. And then it gives me this prompt after it's been downloaded. And you can see right here that we now have Pokemon Fire Red and we have Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. Both of them are in zip files. We'll deal with that later. Next, we're going to go ahead and go to the second link, which leads you here. This is the patcher. It's going to look like this little box, and it will be about that small on your screen. It says download. It says links, and there's only one thing to click on, which says download. I'll even zoom in for you guys. Right there. It might be a little bigger, but there's literally only one thing to click. You press download, and then that should also go straight to your downloads folder. I'll make sure I'm a human. Yep. And now that we've checked, yes, we have the NUPS and the patch and the base game. Let's go on to the next one. So here we are at the MGBA link. This is what I'm going to use as an emulator. If you have a favorite one that is not MGBA, you're welcome to skip this step and use the one you'd like to use. However, we will use the MGBA one for this tutorial video. So right here, I have Windows. For Windows, we're going to click Windows Installer.exe. We click on that one. So now we're going to minimize this because we won't need any of these tabs anymore. I'll actually even close it out. And then we go to our downloads folder, and I'm going to make a new folder, okay? So we're going to name this one Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL, and I'll put all of the other files into it. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have Pokemon Fire Red. We have the patch. We have the patcher, and then we have the emulator. So let's go ahead, and in this folder, we're going to now unzip every single one of these. Now, I'm going to use WinZip. There are free online unzippers. If you choose to use those, you can. You just unzip it online and then have it unzip into this PokeDUEL folder. I'm going to just straight unzip into it from the folder itself by double-clicking and then unzipping using WinZip. So here's WinZip. It opened up. This is the Pokemon Fire Red ROM. We press yes, unzip files to Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. This is why we made the folder itself originally, just so it instantly go there. Now we're doing the step 2. This is the patch. Open. Yep. Unzip the patches to Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. Now we're going to do the patcher and UPS. Open. Yes. Unzip the files to Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. And now we're going to double click on the installer for MGBA. I'll bring this onto the screen you guys can see. You press OK. And then it's going to give you this prompt. I'm going to press next, accept the agreement. You can read it if you want to. I'm not going to. And then you can press what files you want this to go to. You press next. You can read these if you want to. I'm not going to read any of that. And we're going to press next. And then you press install. Okay, so now we have all of our files. You'll notice that these left images are for the zip files. And then this one, the one that is white, this is the patch itself. This is to NUPS, which I am going to grab the patcher and open. So we're going to press open on the patcher. Now we get this little tiny box. Even if I drag and open it up, it doesn't make it any bigger. We're going to say apply an UPS patch to a file. We're going to click the top option. Then it's going to bring this second box up that I'll bring over to you guys also. So the first box is completely done. You won't need that anymore. I'm going to drag this one over so it doesn't distract you. File to patch. This is Pokemon Fire Red. You're going to route yourself to where you left your folder, which for me is still in my downloads folder. So we're going to double click on that one. And right here, it says 1636 Pokemon Fire Red. Now, there are 2 of them, but remember, one of them is a zip file and it's very small amount of kilobytes. And then the other one is triple as large and is not a zip file. So we're going to double click on that one. And then we press browse for UPS patch. And there's only one option in here. We're going to click on it. Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL version 4.0.6. Got it. And we press patch. Patching has been done. And then from here, we're going to close everything out. And then one final step is we'll go back to our downloads folder. And I suggest dragging this folder that you're done with and putting it on your desktop so it's out of your downloads folder and now you have access to it. So we're going to go ahead and double click that and you have everything done. This Pokemon Fire Red Squirrels is now the MGBA game for it. So before you double click this, you want to drag this over to monitor 1, whatever that is for your computer. So now what we're recording on is monitor 2. So I'm just going to drag this off screen for a second. And I'm going to double click this on screen 1. I'm allowed to bring it to screen 2, but it has to start on screen 1. I'll drag it back over. All I did is double click that off screen. And here's the game that opened up. Now, if you open it on monitor 2, what'll happen is it'll open up as just a white screen and then nothing will change on the game. So you don't want to open it up on screen 2. Just drag it over to screen 1 real quick, double click, and then you can move it to whatever screen you want after it's already been opened up. And then here we go, Yu-Gi-Oh! Fire Red version. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. Now that you have this game, I left a link in the description down below to the Discord server for Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL in case you want to join them. They're active, fun, helpful. Also, leave a comment on this video, please. Was I helpful? Also, is there something I could have done better to help you download this game a little bit easier? Thank you for being here for this episode. Like, subscribe, smash that noti bell. Check me out on Twitch. Check out the entire series I did for a hardcore Nuzlocke for Yu-Gi-Oh! PokeDUEL. Appreciate you being here for this review and tutorial video, though, and I'll catch you guys again soon. Peace.